Do we want to talk about the Lighthouse?
We can have a brief Lighthouse discussion. I'm down. Well, to start, before we start talking about the Lighthouse, just a quick, even smaller side discussion. Did you like The Witch? Did you ever see The Witch?
So we're starting with a Robert Edgars conversation.
We're just going to do a little Robert Edgars conversation, because that also, I feel like, informs The Witch, or The Lighthouse.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Just brief.
Yeah, so The Witch is good.
Yeah.
It was an interesting theater experience that I had, because I think The Witch is the only movie I've ever gone to where I knew absolutely nothing, where I literally showed up at the theater and a movie said The Witch, and I was like, okay, why not? And I went in. And it's the only time I've ever done that, where completely random.
Blind watch.
Didn't even know what it was.
Was it the poster with Black Phillip?
I don't know.
Black Phillip is the goat.
Yeah, no, I know it's the goat. I don't remember what poster.
Well, because every poster, I have the Blu-ray, and every poster I've seen, like the poster on Letterboxd, it literally just says the Vivitch, and it's got a picture of Black Phillip on it.
No, it was not that. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Because I was about to say, I don't know if I would be able to go watch it just based on that, but he is a good goat.
I think we were looking for something a little. We were looking for horror when I was there with some friends. So.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely a horror movie.
Yeah, and I think it helped. A lot of people were off-put by it, from what I understand. Yeah. That the trailer promised them something a bit more horror-y, and what they got was a very slow burn. More of a thriller, almost, but not really.
Kind of, yeah. It's definitely a lot more atmospheric. But the thing is, I mean, I kind of like the Witch. There's a lot that I appreciated about The Witch. I'm just not too into that whole, vibe of witches and witchcraft. But the things I did appreciate about it...
I mean, there's barely any witchcraft in it, but...
There really isn't. What I did appreciate about it was just the insane dialogue. I mean, that man did his research.
It's worse than the Coen Brothers' True Grit.
It was... Well,
in a good way. Like, I'm not saying...
Yeah.
Worse as in it's...
Well, the thing about True Grit is that it's really good language that I can't understand because Jeff Bridges is, like, gargling butter the entire time.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
It is so much fun. Watch it with subtitles. It's amazing. The Witch is one of those things that I can understand what they were saying. I just didn't know what it meant. Because it's very old colloquial English. But at the same time, because I watch it with subtitles, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. I don't know what it all means, but I'm amazed that this guy knows this much about this. Like, it was pretty much a foreign language to me. Yeah. That and the atmospheric stuff, the production design, very 1600s inspired. Well, it is in the 1600s, but I liked it.
Was a 1600s inspired product.
Yeah. It was, and I don't know. I love that guy, that super deep voice guy.
The main one. Name.
Oh yeah,
he's
in
Chernobyl.
The Office. Yes, he was. He was in Chernobyl. I see him.
What was the line? It was you have done your duty or something to the Soviet Union.
Yeah, he's the general guy who salutes the guys who go into the reactor. But yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, it's one of those movies that I think now after that I've seen The Lighthouse, I want to go back and see again. Because, spoiler alert, I fucking love The Lighthouse.
Well, I watched The Witch in preparation for the Lighthouse again a month ago.
Did it get better on a second viewing?
Well, I liked it quite a bit on the first viewing. I think I was in tune with it a little bit more on the second viewing, but I liked it roughly the same.
You watched it with subtitles?
No, I don't think I did.
It's nice. That's the first thing I'm gonna do is when The Lighthouse comes out on Blu-ray. I'm just gonna watch it all with subtitles.
Yeah. So The Lighthouse, recently released and currently in theaters, it's good.
It's good. Eraserhead with sailors.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, Eraserhead's a bit more esoteric, but...
Eraserhead's a lot more abstract and esoteric, but what I mean by Eraserhead with sailors is that obviously the presentation is very similar.
Yeah.
The stark black and white, but I also think the constant droning industrial sounds of Eraserhead are also kind of present throughout The Lighthouse. That was one of the things I loved about it, was that there was constantly that big siren going off.
Yeah, the movie started and it just kept It went off every couple seconds. And I was like, is it
never
gonna stop?
I kind of liked it, though.
And you kind of forget about it. You get used to it.
You do. Because they just throw you immediately into the atmosphere. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's rainy, it's
the
wet,
atmosphere starts before
desolate.
The plot does.
I mean, within 2 minutes, we see the cramped living quarters, the constant sirens, Willem Dafoe farting. It just, it throw you all into it, right in there. And it's good, because this whole thing is just a visual cabin fever trip, so it's good that they throw you into that right away.
So I need to watch it again.
Same.
And I haven't gotten the opportunity to go to the theater yet.
Because you have to see this more than once.
The thing that kind of threw me off was it's kind of strangely structured.
Plot-wise, yeah.
And I'm not saying like badly structured. I'm saying strangely structured.
It is.
In the way that when I first watched it, and you're approaching, they're like, oh, tomorrow's the day that they're coming to pick us up. And you're thinking to yourself, all right, we're about halfway through? What's happening here? Like, you don't know where it's going. And you know something has to happen. You know, because I was either like, well, they're either not getting picked up or some real bad shit's going to go down
all
tonight.
Night.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Either one could have been the case, and it just not so much an issue with the pacing, I think, but more so I was thrown off by a lack of expectation of where the narrative was going. And I think a second viewing might take care of that a bit more, and I might go with the flow a bit better.
Well, it definitely seems like the first half of this movie is a little more plot focused than the second half. Because once they aren't getting picked up, once you learn that they're not getting picked up, that's when they get rid of all of the plot and just focus solely on the descent into madness. Like, obviously
that's the good stuff.
Yeah, that is the good stuff. And that stuff is, sprinkled throughout. It's sort of like the first half is alluding to this eventual descent into madness, and we get to learn about the characters, we get to learn about who these people are. So when you get into the second half, where it's just full on insanity, we understand the facets of this insanity because we understand most of the sides of these characters. So in that way, it almost feels like a 2-act thing, because I never really expected it to go anywhere. I kind of got the vibe from the trailers and the reviews I read that it was just a big mood piece, a big old, descent, and I enjoyed it. But no, I do agree. When we learned that someone's picking him up, I actually looked at my watch. I'm like, oh god, it's not already almost over, is it?
Yeah, I almost thought have we been here that long?
Yeah.
I considered that. Oh, is it almost? Are we heading into the third act? I knew it was only halfway. Like, my rational brain said that, but I was also at the same time questioning, like, how long have we been here? Help me to recollect.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how long have I been sitting in this chair? 10 minutes? 40 minutes? Help me to recollect. I will say, yeah, that's another thing I'm very excited for. The A24 is putting out these little script books. They have one for The Witch and Moonlight, and a third one I don't remember, might be Hereditary, where it's the script, the actual script, with a bunch of behind the scenes photos and a bunch of review type stuff and forewords by famous people who enjoyed the movie. And they put one out for The Witch and Moonlight, and I cannot wait if they do one for The Lighthouse, because I just want to read all 3 pages of Willem Dafoe's monologue.
I'd read it.
Oh my god, that
sounds great.
That was incredible. I don't know how you feel, but I honestly feel like that might be the best Willem Dafoe performance ever.
I think I'm not as in love with it as everyone else is, but it's still a great performance. And definitely a top tier Dafoe.
Oh, easily. Weirdly enough, the character I was thinking of most when I was recollecting on Willem Dafoe's character in this movie was Anton Chigurh. Because this movie, much like No Country for Old Men and Anton Chigurh, without the character of Thomas and the way that Thomas is portrayed, it's a completely different movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in in the moment, obviously there were moments in the movie where I'm like, damn, Defoe's killing it. Obviously the monologue, him being buried alive was great. I quite enjoyed that bit. But it wasn't one of those immediately gripping performances is one of those that the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, you know what? That was actually pretty amazing.
I just realized that there is most certainly a Shining reference. And
oh, it's the axe.
The axe, yeah. I don't know why I referenced The Shining in my review on the website, and I'm only now just realizing, oh, there was an axe sequence.
If we're talking about amazing references in this movie, can we talk about the Lebowski reference in this movie?
Except with shit.
Except with shit. Even as it was happening, I guess if I was paying full attention, but even at that moment, part of my brain is like, they're not going to do the thing, are they? And they did the thing.
It was great.
And just the way Robert Pattinson just sort of like chills for a second before he freaks out. Oh, it's great. This movie was it was deceptively funny.
It was a quality theater going experience. Keyword there is experience.
How packed was your theater?
It wasn't. I think it was a weekday, a weeknight.
Yeah.
Late weeknight.
I went on a Thursday or a Friday, I think. And there was only about 10 or 15 other people in the theater.
I'd say there might have been 10. There was actually a group of, I think, high school kids in there. Like a solid group. And it was like, what are you guys doing here?
I mean,
like, I'm good. I'm happy to see it.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's not something like Midsummer or The Witch where people can be deceived into going into this movie, because even from the trailers you could tell it's like
it's black and white.
It's black and white. It's 3:3 aspect ratio. They're talking like, they did 300 years ago. So anyone no one is accidentally stumbling in to this movie thinking it's something it's not.
No, it is impossible for them to misrepresent the movie in the trailer.
Yeah. Those are great trailers, though.
They are.
I mean, I honestly think my two most watched videos on YouTube this entire year are the first Lighthouse trailer and the Uncut Gems trailer. Both of them I'm just all in for.
I have been watching many trailers. Actually, I don't really watch many trailers. I watch a few trailers many times.
I remember watching a lot of the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer as well. I watched the Under the Silver Lake trailer like 3 times a day back in April of 2018 when the trailer came out. Just A24 did some pretty good trailers.
Yeah, there is a short 45-second TV spot for Parasite.
Oh.
That I watch on repeat about 5 times a day just to keep myself satisfied until I can watch it.
I'm going through, because end of the decade I start to think about, what were the best years for movies? And in my mind it's always been 2014. There's some amazing movies that came out in 2014. For me, it's
2017.
Yeah, well, I was about to say 2017 as well also had some amazing movies. And I was always debating between those two. Maybe 2013, maybe is like a runner-up. But then I was thinking, I'm like, God, for me personally, it was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Marriage Story, The Lighthouse, Parasites, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, all this year.
It's been a really great year.
It's been an amazing year.
It's not even done yet. We still got a few more to go.
Yeah, what's even left? We got
Uncut Gems.
Gems, Little Women. I'm excited for Little Women. The Irishman. I did forget about The Irishman. I guess The Farewell, too. I wasn't as crazy about it as you were, but you quite enjoyed The Farewell.
Yes.
That's what I want to see again, because the theater I went to, the camera was messed up.
That sucks.
So, the camera was a little bit too low.
Mm-hmm.
So, the bottom half of the subtitles were cut off.
Oh, that really does suck.
It does, and not only that, but the movie in particular has a lot of headspace.
Yeah.
The cinematography, so that's it looked even worse when the camera was lower. They looked like they were doing those Hobbit angles. So that's another one I'm going to give another shot. Hopefully it comes into theaters, but I doubt it.
The Lighthouse was pretty great.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I highly recommend to anyone to go see it. If you like cinema, go see it.
If you like horror, if you like
movies, don't go see it. You have to love cinema.
Well, I will say, unlike the other movies, this is less of a story, more of an experience.
Yeah.
So if that's not your thing, don't do that. But man,
if you like The Shining, you'll probably like this.
It's strange because I'm not huge on The Shining. I'm not a big fan of The Shining. I like it, just not. It's like a 4 out of 5 stars for me. But this is like an easy 5/5.
Well,
I love this.
This
But I
was
also love
just this movie was built from the ground up to please Chandler Chavez.
It really was. It's got Willem Dafoe. It's got sailors. It's got farting. It's got beans. It's got. I love the pirate / sailor aesthetic, and I think Willem Dafoe has the perfect face for this role.
Perfectly cast.
I love the name Ephraim Winslow. It's a very fun name to say. I'm just big fan.
I don't know. My favorite performance though of the movie was the seagull. The one-eyed seagull.
Did you read any like behind the scenes stuff for this movie?
Not really, no.
Because apparently Robert Eggers was like, yeah, on The Witch, the goat was just an ass. He was very hard to coach and to control. But he said the person who like trained the seagulls, he said the seagulls were some of the best actors he ever worked with. Especially that one-eyed one. He's great. Quick, here's my... do we want to get into an actual spoiler discussion or just want to keep it light? We should probably just end it here.
Well, what is the question? I'm curious. I can always cut it out.
There's a few theories that I've had. My main theory or reading of this movie is that it's a movie about power, just men in power. Because obviously you got Ephraim Winslow toiling away, doing all the sweaty work just so Willem Dafoe, the older man, the older white guy, can bask in the light that is made from his work.
Are you saying it's about classism?
I think it's about classism.
Everything is about classism in 2019.
It really is, but I'm here for it. But I also had a theory that, because at the end, the ending shot, which is an amazing shot, probably my favorite in the movie, of Ephraim being eaten alive by those seagulls. Did you think one of them was Thomas?
I don't know.
I thought, cause obviously they said the thing about seagulls being the body, reincarnations of sailors, but yeah, no, I think so. But that's just my theory. What was your reading of this, if you had one?
I don't know, but the one that came to mind just now is... maybe it's got something to do with environmentalism?
Well, he did just obliterate that seagull.
Yeah, he attacked nature. And nature killed him.
Ate him alive. A religious angle? I've seen a lot of people describe the light as God.
Are people going insane over God? That kind of thing?
I don't know. Actually, no, I changed my mind. The best image in the entire movie is naked Willem Dafoe with lighthouse eyes.
It was pretty great, yeah.
That is a powerful image.
It'll stick with you for a while.
That's the one I remember vividly. Because when that came on in the theater, I just went, what the f***?
I wish we had more of those.
I mean, same. They had some good ones. Like Willem Dafoe as Poseidon for a millisecond.
Oh, there was... So, when I was watching it, it was late, and I was... Part of... Confession, I was starting to nod off, just ever so slightly. Yeah. About 2/3 of the way through the movie. And... I opened my eyes to the Willem Dafoe as Neptune.
Yeah.
That kind of scare, and the mermaid as well. And that just shocked me awake for the last third of the movie.
It's great. There's so many little just micro images like that I'm just like, whoa, hold on. Can we go back to that for a second?
Freeze frame.
As soon as the movie comes out, there's a good digital copy of it. I am making naked Willem Dafoe with lighthouse eyes my desktop wallpaper for life.